I hate YouTube. I hate YouTube so much. This is the third time I've done this video because YouTube keeps crashing on me while I'm recording it. So anyway, this is the Axmax Tremolo, and today I'm going to be comparing it to some of the more popular off-the-shelf type bridges that you can find. And the first one I'm going to start with is obviously the Floyd Rose. Alright, this is a TRS 101 bridge. This is a pretty high quality. It's a Takeuchi Matsumoto made Goto unit. It's very high quality. It's just old. This one itself is beat to shit, so I'm not comparing it to this one, but I have several of them. So these are, for the money, these are the best. You can find them used for $60 on eBay, so you know, for the money, these are the absolute best Floyd Rose type you're going to find. So TRS 101, that's what you're looking for. That said, this one itself is beat to shit, but it has all the Floyd Rose features. People want to naturally compare the Floyd Rose to the Axmax, which I think is wrong. They have a similar style aesthetically, just from their their perimeter shape. But other than that, and they have knife edges, so it has springs, and so it's, other than some generic similarities, these are two very different tremolos, and they operate on two different functions, right? This one has the independent string locks with the bolts on the back. You feed in the string, and then you tighten it down, and then it has a large break angle over the saddles. Whereas this one is simply strung through the back and tightened down with the retainers. And the retainers on these act as the fine tuners on these as well. So this has 3 different parts to do the job of one on this, which I like simplification. It definitely, simple usually works better for mechanical devices. So, it also has the removable knife edges, whereas this does not. Some Floyd Roses do, like the Ibanez edge, but this one itself is pretty typical of the Kahler and Goto style Floyd Roses. So, with these, you have, as I said, I was going over that, a large break angle over the saddles, and whereas this is simply strung straight through. So they have 2 kind of different mechanisms for string operation. One thing I've noticed is that this one has a much brighter sound, much bigger sound than an actual Floyd Rose on the same guitar. And I say the same guitar very specifically, because this one's definitely brighter in sound, has a much fuller, bigger sound. So it wasn't really a minor change either. It was pretty substantial, noticeable difference. So that kind of had that going for it. Ibanez also has this cool locking system in the back, which Axmax incorporated. I don't see too many Floyd Roses with that. The next comparison is, this one's more of a more accurate comparison, is the Kahler. Alright, this one has you string it through the top, has the fine tuning adjustment and the lock, and one thing over the roller saddles. Okay, and they both have a very large footprint. They're both pretty heavy. I can't compare sound for sound because you can't swap out a Kahler for a Floyd Rose, unfortunately. I wish you could. I'm personally not a huge fan of Kahlers. I don't like the limited range and the forced range, I guess. The string response on these is pretty limited compared to a Floyd Rose. So I prefer the Floyd style stuff over the Kahler stuff, but design wise this is more similar to the Axmax. And the Axmax has much lower profile saddles, which I am thankful for, because I hate that these stick out so much. It's really irritating to my hand. I don't like it at all. And pretty much any Kahler thing, I usually cut out a hunk of wood and glue it in and route it out for a Floyd Rose. But I don't do that very often. Just certain guitars. I just don't like the Kahlers. So they have a very different feel for operation-wise. But these are very different things. So this is the most similar design You also have your standard Strat style, tremolos, and the only reason why I'm really showing this is to show off the, this is a go-to unit as well. This is a G105 bridge. And then this is the kind of beveling that I wanted to discuss from my other video. It's got a bevel on the bottom so it doesn't eat away your paint, because it'll rotate and it'll curve over your body instead of digging in on the corner. But this is a very large block, very hefty bridge. This one itself is pretty high quality for the standard style. Just some things to incorporate perhaps. And I'm probably the only person in the world that has both of these, functional anyway. This is a Ibanez Pro Rocker Tremolo. Yes. This thing is ancient. Ancient. This thing came out of, I want to say that Floyd Rose came out in 77. This came out 79 or 80, I think. So this wasn't too far. This was probably the first adaptation of a Floyd Rose, actually, that wasn't a Floyd. So it's very. This thing is probably the most similar in design to the Axmax, actually. It has the low brake angle over the saddles. They have integrated roller type saddles. These are not locks. These are just fine tuners. So they actually adjust the intonation or the tuning on it. It has locks on the back here that are screw type, which is I'm gonna have to replace those because they're getting old. But that's actually a pretty clever design. They're not they don't come out. You have to take the whole thing apart eventually, but it doesn't come out, so there's no risk of losing anything. And it's also a very comfortable design. It's very similar to the Axmax for tuning and stability wise. And the only difference really is the Pro Rocker strings through the bottom instead of through the back, which this is the most annoying thing ever. I don't know why they decided to do that. It's like the Edge Pro tremolos. I have no idea why they did that. That was a good idea. There might be another way to string it up that I don't know, but yeah, so far it's just kind of irritating for me. These have height adjustments on the back and the front, which is nifty. So this might be a way to think about incorporating individual saddle height, is just extend out. It wouldn't even be difficult, really. I mean, you could just change out these saddles. You put in adjustments on the tip of the saddle, and you can get a little bit more of a, or have something in the back even, and you could raise the height of each saddle, so you get it. You change the radius, to a 16-inch. If you have a 16-inch radius guitar, it'd be nice. I like radius matching where possible. This just might be look at this design and improve on this, and then bring that into the Axmax, and it can really make this even better than what it is. As far as materials wise, this thing died. This thing will not. This thing's way more simple than a Floyd Rose. It'll last long. I have zero doubt it'll last longer than a Floyd Rose. I've used Ibanez edges that are from 1987. That's the first year they came out with those, and some of them are still running strong, some of them not. But they eventually wear out completely. Whereas this has nothing to wear out. It really doesn't. These string locks might wear out eventually at some point. I doubt it, because they're pretty large threads. It's almost Acme threads, how large they are compared to and there's a lot of them, so it doesn't have a lot of places to go wrong, so to speak. And the knife edges are replaceable. So I think for the long haul type thing is that this bridge will last much longer than any other type. This Kahler is broken, so this one's not even that old, only a few years old. I'd say the standard 6-point style Strat bridge is probably going to last a little longer, because you can just, the saddle breaks, you just get a new saddle, no big deal. And it's just a piece of metal. There's nothing fancy on that. You can get new screws at any point. You can go to Lowe's and get screws. It's not a big deal. So I would say the standard Strat style has a little bit more longevity than as proven. They got some from the 50s still going strong. But you know, I have no doubt that this bridge will last longer than I do. So if you're looking for a high quality, long time bridge, then this is definitely something to look at.